We are back. Going to be bringing you the third of the losers bracket right now. Shelty versus Grass. Both these players having that big battle to get through the first round and not quite being able to make it happen. However, the differences are Shelty not yet having a win under his belt and Grass getting right to that fifth game from memory. Grass is going to be feeling good going into this one, but Shelty, I mean, he's going to be feeling a little bit shaky. He hasn't got that win yet. He hasn't found his feet in this tournament, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
What do you reckon, Winston? Can Shelty make that happen soon, or is it all Grass all the way?
It depends on Grass's motivation level right now, right? Like Vortex just kind of it was tough, Like it was a fun series, right? But Vortex just seems so in control at times, right? And mental is an important part of the game, right? And so the hope here for Grass is that he's confident enough to dive into this game and be clean, right? If I feel like if he gets a little shaky here, I mean, Shelty might have some opportunity, right? But I think if Grass is like on point, playing confident, understands like how to close games, how to win games, how to play smart, I think it could be really tricky. We're going into Ghost Lake, as we called it Goat Lake before, Uranus versus Freyr. What are your thoughts there?
I'm gobsmacked that we're seeing Freya getting picked at all, to be honest.
In a bow 3.
Yeah, against like as a first pick from Grass. Like, what? What's he scared of? I guess I think. No, I don't know. I don't know what he's scared. I can't see a god that I would pick this god into. For me personally on this map. So
Poseidon too, right? Like,
yeah, honestly, if this is me, I'm thinking Hades on Ghost Lake is a perfectly fine into Uranus, perfectly fine into Odin, perfectly fine into Set, perfectly fine into Kronos. So it gives you that first game leg up, knowing that your god is good against or decent against, winnable against everything. But Freyr, I don't even know if he wins on this map against anything. The problem on Ghost Lake, as is often the case, is if you get that one gold mine spawn, the second gold mine's really far away from your base.
Yeah.
Uranus is a perfect god for this map because you don't have to worry about that. You send one villager over, drop a sky passage, and you're already there.
Yeah.
So I'm liking Shelty here. Shelty also, for the history of Shelty, he is a Norse specialist, but he's a random god expert as well. And inside of that random god expert, he has a tendency in tournament to lean in onto the Atlanteans a little bit if he's got the choice. And he gets the Uranus, so he's gonna feel at home with this god. And he knows the Norse really well. And he's gonna know this Freyr god as well. So this is looking really good for me. For Shelty, to me.
Yeah, this should be exciting. And we'll see what that spawn ends up looking like if it's 1 or 2 golds. I feel like if it's 2 golds, though, I think Freyr has some opportunity. So maybe a little bit of lottery here. But yeah, like we saw in some previous games, if you have 2 golds, a lot's open. Like it kind of opens some doors for some different styles, right? And I'd be curious to see how that pans out, right? Uranus, though, it's just so brutal. We've been seeing a lot of Uranus today and a lot in this tournament, right? Just that map control is so powerful, and I think it's like one of those gods where I don't think many people would say Uranus is the number 1 god, but when there's 2 bans, Uranus is like almost in everybody's top 5, so he's going to be quite frequently seen, I think, in these games where he's not number 1, but still top 5, right? Yeah, so we got Uranus, Poseidon potentially for, I mean, I guess Loki on Marsh. And then Poseidon on Savannah is the plan from Grass, I'm guessing. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it could honestly. I just love Grass's
other 3 gods.
all the other gods are like just those look all amazing to me. Well, I mean, we'll see what Grass can do. I'm a believer. I'm gonna be a convert on this one. Freyr versus Uranus, Ghost Lake. Goat Lake is the map. Grab those goats, get the 2 gold mines, enjoy the beauty of playing a really defensive game here against Uranus and just trying to survive and get to that power spike that comes with playing this economic powerhouse. We're going to be getting that game going right away, jumping into it. Here we go. Spawning in the right side of the map in the red color with the economic powerhouse Norse god Freyr. It is Grass. And on the left side of the map in the blue color, his opponent in the blue color. It is Shelty as Oranos.
Yeah, Shelty Oranos. Looking forward to this. Usually the Oracles have such a good chance at getting so many goats. They're so good at getting goats, especially if you kind of know the general vicinity of where to walk. You just have three effectively, right? And it should be pretty good here, but Grass doing a wide pattern here.
Yeah, Grass gets a little, I would say, maybe a little unlucky with his pattern. Only really one Oracle walking straight through to the center here. Shelty not focusing hugely into that goat lake area there. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Oranos, Atlantean, they've got the scouting advantage in a game of Age of Mythology Retold. The only real way to combat that as Norse is to buy a Berserk straight away. And Norse players don't really want to do that. It's a big hit to the economy to do that. It's not just the 50 food, 30 gold upfront cost. It's also the 9 seconds of idle time in your town center to some degree, which that is a tangible loss of resources as well. Nonetheless, we are seeing Grass opening with Pickaxe, getting those cheap upgrades. You thought Gaia got cheap upgrades at 40% off. Try 50% off, and you're playing Freyr.
Yeah, it's really nice. It feels really smooth to play Freyr a lot of the times. Like you hit these really awkward timings at the start of an age where you have to kind of click everything. It's like Deli and AoE 4. You have to kind of play the piano. You have to kind of get a lot of text, but with the pre-queue system, you can just sort of get a lot of things like ready to go. And then as soon as you have more resources, you can kind of do another wave of pre-queue, I find. And I think like Freyr feels really good a lot of the time with any map really. So I'm not super surprised to see it here. I think there's a lot of potential in the Civ. A little tricky, I think, on this map, but we did get a second gold spawn right in the map, in the base. So kind of got what Grass was looking for, I think, I would say. So this is going to pan into the Freyr favor.
Yeah, it was a bit of a roll of the dice. I don't know exactly what the percentages is on gold mine spawn on Ghost Lake. It might be a 50-50. It might be like a 25-75. I haven't looked into it. But yeah, 2 gold mines, two. This is going to be what he needs because it's going to give him the time. He can put a wall up on the top gold mine that one out. He can put the Ulla hill fort down the bottom if he wants to, and then defend that there. And he's not gonna be able to get touched by the Oranos, and that could give him the amount of time he needs to then move out and get the next gold mine and slowly start pushing his weight around with the tech advantage, having all of the cheaper upgrades and things like that. But Oceanus coming through for Shelty, Ulla coming through for Grass. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit. Recently, I've been getting really hype on Prometheus with Oranos, just on the fact that you can get like 2-3 oracles coming out in the while you're advancing to the classical age, and then you can kind of just spam Prometheans nonstop.
It's awesome.
And they're pretty strong. They're not weak, and you get the alluvial clay upgrade for them, and then they get even stronger. Yum yum yum.
Yeah, no, it's really solid. I definitely like when I play Oranos, I like to add an extra 2 oracles no matter what I'm doing. It's good insight. Like you have so much vision with them, right? And then it also just gives you a bunch of favor. Before you know it, you have a ton. So when you go heroic, you have a lot of options. You already have a bank, maybe. It's not the most efficient play, but it's really fun, right? Being able to recast Shockwave as well. Just having that in your belt, you feel less like inclined to save it right away. But we're going to see some Caladria, so no huge surprises there. That is the general meta. And we do see the Fortress.
No surprises.
Right?
Immediate Asgard. Yeah, exactly. Immediate Asgardian Bastion, protecting that bottom gold mine. Watchtowers coming through, buildings coming up. You already know Grass. He is saying, I'm going to stay in my base. Let me be as safe as I possibly can. You're not going to be able to stop this hill fort, but honestly, do you care if you're Shelty about this one coming through? Probably not. As long as it's in the base, it's not giving him something that he shouldn't have access to. So this just means there's not going to be any crazy dives possible. But that's not going to happen anyways with Watchtowers coming up. So good start for both players here. It makes a lot of sense. We'll see what Shelty can come up with here. He's already gotten that spam happening, and he's going to be looking for those raids very, very quickly.
Yeah, and as usual, Freyr is a bit slow to get going because you need to build so many production buildings. Like if you want to get medium infantry, which is your bonus, you want to click it, you need to have like essentially a second longhouse just idled for a while, right?
Yeah.
It kind of slows everything down, but once you get going, then you have the second production building freed up, or the third one usually. And you just sort of have this huge tempo to work with. So we'll see how this pans out. The Asgardian Fortress right in the center of our screen. You see the bits floating down.
Build it up, get it finished. There's a nice little raid.
A shockwave just to kill Vills.
You say just to kill Vills. Picking off, I was kind of expecting to see maybe 2 villager kills. He gets 1. I think he was getting that one without the shockwave, but it's the mental. You just use your god power on that.
Without sending a message.
That's right. I mean, that's right. I'm here to play, man. Your villages aren't safe.
Yeah. Someone's baiting at the Ghoul and Bursty. I mean, obviously you don't want to cast it here. That would not be valuable.
No.
But like, that's the situation, right? And now we have the food is kind of forward here. The golds are nice and safe, but the food is kind of forward. So maybe going to need an early transition to goats if these chickens start getting harassed, which it looks like they will do.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the second time I think I've seen Grass. Like, I'm not quite sure he's fully focusing on building positioning as much as he needs to be. Like, you should be able to have your... There we go. That's what we're talking about. You should be able to have your food protected here with 2 buildings, basically. 2 buildings, a house, and a temple.
Gold, right? Everything else was on the north for the gold and the wood.
So he's got that protected up the top, but yeah, not enough of those buildings letting Shelty get in and cause some problems in the early stages of the game here. Sniping.
Yeah, maybe the hill fort could have been a little more forward, but it's a little bit risky, right? You don't want that to get denied. That's the worst feeling.
No. Nonetheless, Grass is jockeying around, and Shelty is having his way in this early game. He's popping in, got those Terma out to snipe, throw an axe, but it's so fragile at this stage of the game because he doesn't have any raiding cavalry out just yet. He can make it the Huskal and the raiding cavalry now to deal with those Terma, but even then, Huskal moving at 5.0 speed, I think, versus those Terma 5.5 speed. You're never going to catch up to them if your opponent is controlling them well enough.
Starting to look a little interesting. The Terma pretty soon not going to be getting as much value, right? As the numbers get bigger and bigger here. The ranged armor upgrade finally going to be coming in. That copper shield. That's the black.
We already see Hyperion coming through. That is a quick heroic age from Shelty, all things considered. He has a lot of units out already, and also heroic age. Plus, he's got those sky patches all over the map. This is... I don't think he can get anything from it with the quick heroic age, but he does, like, in terms of like immediate value, but he will get those satyrs out. He will be able to get himself the Arcus or Contarius, whatever it feels like.
That's a lot of Huskarls.
There's a lot of... There's some Berserk. There's a lot of Huskal and Berserk.
Yeah, interesting combo. I think he was trying to hide the Huskarls, but he's sort of turtled into an attack that, I mean, it's kind of the classic RTS situation, right? Like, Shelty had the tempo, had initiative, and with initiative you can kind of translate that into either more attack or you can pull back into tech, you can add TC, right? When you have initiative at the start of an RTS game, kind of all 3 options are open to you. And we'll see, walking a little far forward, but this is that timing at the end of every age, right? So at the end of classical age, at the end of heroic age, and by the end of mythic, right? That's when Freyr kind of hits these timings where their military is just massive and becomes really nicely upgraded. And we're slowly nearing that point, although heroic going to be quite some ways off with only 300 food in the bank, 400. So
he's running out of those goats as well, but I think if he doesn't spend any more resources or any more food, he should be able to get there just off of the resources in his main base.
Maybe. But age up into what?
I don't know. You tell me. Get the rock giants out, get the Tempest out, and then you have to start thinking about getting up to that next gold mine. Ooh, this you never see this tech coming through, boosting up the Draugr. So you want to spam those? Does he have one out still? He's got 2 out. Does really, really increase their damage output.
It's a really good upgrade, yeah. But I still feel like Draugr, even when you mass them, like their special just doesn't do enough damage, in my opinion, to like justify the cost. I think there's almost always better investments. We do have the edgier, like Rock Giant, right? That's a great way to spend the favor, I think, compared to this. But we'll see.
Yeah, and Shelty's doing a great job right now.
Oh, another shockwave on the eco, and this time it's a lot. Oh, but the counter shockwave in the Gulenberg slapping down on the economy. Or sorry, on the military defending his economy.
You just have to run. You kind of can snipe down the Gulenberg if you're fast enough, but the simplest way here is just to get away from it, keep it away from it. Maybe drop Chaos here if you really want to.
I just want to be your friend, says the Gulenberg, and here's the Chaos, but he didn't get the Gulenberg in it. That's good. And that was also kind of a big Chaos. The burst attack from the back line, the Draugr getting their damage off, but was the damage too much here?
And I mean, as good as this Gulenberg as good as this Gulenberg is, the population is just so high for Shelty at the moment. He's he's got 40 more population than Grass does here. Plus those Satyr are still really strong on the back.
Not Trader.
It looks like he wins the fight in a big way.
My brain just broke. I don't know what just happened, but oh my gosh, the Terma now gonna have enough. The Draugr are gonna go down. Pacify was the word I was looking for.
That's right.
Back the units go. Oh man.
As you're playing, the thing is with this god being behind, it's not the end of the world because you so long as you get your heroic age in, that unlocks all those techs. Those techs are cheap. You don't need to have the economy that your opponent has to function. You just have to be able to get yourself to a military equality, military number equality, because you know your tech's going to be there. And he's still building those Draugr. He's really putting stock into these Revenant Draugrs. This is the first time I've seen that name. Revenant Draugr. It's kind of sick.
That's a really cool unit. I mean, I love the visual and the design, right? 3 of them on the field, but is it going to be enough? The special attack comes out, and a unit goes down.
I was, there was only one there. That's all he could hit.
Awesome. Yeah. And the Rock Giant in the front is going to be pretty meaningful, right? Especially with the Draugr AoE.
Yeah, if you can get a combination of the taunt from the Rock Giant into the special plus whatever else is going to come through with how the arrows have that piercing quality. If you can hit one arrow through like 5 units, you 5x'd the DPS of the Draugr, which is it's already a decent damage dealing unit. Get even more out of it, and it's very, very strong.
Pretty soon the gold is going to run out for Grass, and Shelty has already secured several gold mines and still has, in my opinion, maybe the stronger army. Actually, I'm not sure about that anymore. Berserks are
still Tempest. They're still Tempest, but Chaos is about to come online. Doesn't have the favor for it just yet. Does have a shockwave. So I mean, what do you want to do? Do you take the Tempest fight? Do you wait for shockwave? Use Shockwave Carnivora, maybe? There's lots of options here for Shelty. He's got to make the right decision.
Oh.
Oop. That's
Who's going to notice first? This is the... Well...
Who's
going to notice first? Shockwave on the main army here. Tempest gets dropped down and into the... Wait, you can go out on the gold.
You can go onto the gold. He's going onto the gold. That was such a good play. He dodges everything with that.
And now, dude, that was 5 ahead. Wait, but now his army's down here. If he doesn't have enough to win the fight, his army might be a little trapped. But we'll see.
Well, no, you can always retreat back through that.
Here on the main.
Big taunt coming through for the Rock Giant.
I don't think there's enough. Well, the Draugr is shooting away. The front lines for Tintarius kind of going down. We do see several units were getting converted, and the damage just actually does seem to be there.
The Rock Giant was just tanking everything. There's no hero to take it out. We see Carnivora getting dropped down onto those throwing axemen here, but Shelty, he can just retreat here. He doesn't need to take this fight in the slightest, but he's just trying to force it. Those Draugr are still alive on the backside here. Hero Terma getting cleaned up. Shelty's got no military anymore.
That was crazy, and you saw how brazen Grass was. He was like, oh, I'm going to win this fight. And he just walked his dwarves right back down to the gold that started this whole thing. My gosh, what an explosive moment of gameplay there. I really thought that Shelty had done enough in that moment with the trick play.
Yeah, and now the game just gets completely flipped on its head because Shelty hasn't set up a sky passage on the left side of the map now. He does have some gold incomes, still got gold in his main base, but now Grass can start thinking about setting up maybe a hill fort on the top gold mine. He can get his defenses set up on his own gold mine, and Shelty, you're not supposed to be on the defense here in this matchup. Freyr is the defensive god. If you are starting to defend against this this defensive Norse god, then chances are you're in a pretty dire position.
And the units here going to be luring the enemy into a trap. The Draugr line up the shot. The taunt comes in as well. The second rock giant on the field. And plenty of units here. And we're starting to see that upgrade advantage just be super meaningful. You have everything in the heroic age almost in it. Was that a raid turned into berserk so effectively those dwarves were killed?
You see the difference in villager count though?
Well, he just converted a bunch.
Yeah, but even with that, it's still kind of there's still kind of a 30 population difference right now in terms of civilians.
Maybe on the hunt or something. There could have been a raid we missed.
Maybe.
That's like a while ago during all the fighting. Maybe not.
The question is, does it matter? If you're sitting in this game with 107 population military, with 4 rock giants, with all of the armory upgrades in the world, remember your tech is half price, so it's already probably in, and you see that granite more tech coming through for those rock giants to allow them to heal themselves by killing your opponent. I don't know. Shelty has to delay it somehow. He has to get heroes out. He has to get an answer going in this game.
Yeah, and it's going to be tricky. I mean, Berserk's being trained. So it's kind of crazy, right? Like, the economy, though, got to stall out a bit for Grass here, right? Like,
yeah,
he's going to have to make a choice on what units to train, or if he just tries to go for an Inferno play to end it. Like, you kind of get the sense that he has to win with a push here, right? Otherwise, he's just in trouble. He doesn't have enough for any repeat god powers. Any chance at trying to go onto the map is going to be lost because these Cantarius are roaming free.
I mean, he's always got Sky Passage. Sneaky Sky Passage is always on the cards right now. Grass has not got line of sight on his own back gold mine. So that is an option. If you can sneak a citizen through there. And he is attempting some sort of sneaky play as you see those blue dots moving down the south of the map.
Yeah, there are some units there, though. There's a hill fort as well. This time full fight, though, is it going to be enough? There's a bunch of hero archers now. They already took out one giant, but the front line goes down and retreats. On the side of Shelty, he's changing his mind, though. Sees the throwing axeman in the front. Gets the fight he wants. The taunts come in. The Arcus focusing down the rock giants, but it's going to be way too slow. That mass of units for Grass continues to reign supreme on the field. The rock giants now, what's really standing in their way? Just these hero Arcus. Behind that, the economy, the buildings, they could start to get chomped on. We see the rock giants peeling off away from the hero Arcus. But no, instead of going for the attack, Grass is going to back up once again. And it looks like he did spot the 2 citizens on the south with those.
Yeah, I think he tried to throw up a Sky Passage there instead of sneaking by onto the back gold mine. And now we see 0 villagers on gold for Shelty. He can sell at the market for a little bit here if he so chooses, but he's going for Hero Arcus. And to be the bearer of bad news, the Hero Arcus is not very good against the Rock Giant, even though it's a hero unit. The Rock Giant's just got so many stats. PS armor, HP. When it uses that special ability, it goes from 75% all the way up to like nearly 90%. So you're scratching it with the Arcus. What you need is some true damage. Where does that come from? Mamilla heroes. Bite of the Shark.
Hand axe on Freyr?
He doesn't have it. I mean, it's a bit
What?
expensive, you know. It's 85 resource. You can't afford to grab that.
What? That was a surprising moment for me. I'll be honest. He didn't have a hand axe. Oh man,
Is
that's
that the
crazy.
tech is that the tech you grab straight away in every Frere build order? Maybe not. Maybe it's pickaxe. I don't know.
Pickaxe
Maybe
is
that's why
really
he
good.
forgot it. Maybe
I
he forgot about it. I think that's all it is.
because it was too
It's fine.
obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But this army of this red blob, I love how there's one RC in there, just like
I just won.
he's
He's
the
got to deal
one
with those
guy
arcs
who has a
somehow.
horse. Times are tough. Times are tough in Grass's land. Horses are hard to come by.
Well, the citizens are moving up
This
now.
could be a game-ending fight here.
Yeah.
There's not enough god juice for anything here on the side of Shelty, and he's kind of pinned himself into the corner. And the rock giants are here. The taunt comes in. The Draugr lines up, but there's only one Draugr remaining. The AoE damage isn't quite there, but the taunts are coming in. The throwing Oxman, they have the damage. The building, it goes down. No palace for you. The Berserk's getting surrounded on the Arcus. It might be a counter, but there are Huskarls mixed in, and Huskarls eat Arcus for breakfast, and Grass takes game 1 in this series.
That was, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, right now, Grass knew something that I clearly didn't at the start of this game. Freya against Uranus, you just win because you never lose any fights. Doesn't matter if you lose a ton of villages here because all the tech is there. Shelty was just kind of once the rock giants come through, he's just like, how do I kill these? He couldn't quite work it out. Resource wise,
Look at the resources.
he's way in front.
It doesn't look like he was behind if you look at the resource income, right? So maybe that explains a bit, right? Like,
yeah. What a wild game.
What a wild game. Yeah, that's a TIL.
1-0 for Grass. And that's Shelty's, that's one of Shelty's kind of strong picks off the table as well. He does also have that Norse. I think he's got a Norse god in his pool, but Grass is going to be feeling really, really good now. I remember I was saying all the other gods in Grass's pool are really strong. So Shelty's going to have his work cut out for him moving forward here.
Crazy game. Crazy game. Vil peak of 65. So he had some Vils at some point. And then the raids. He did convert a bunch in the north to fight back the Contarius raid.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a tricky situation, right? All around.
Well,
But now 3 minutes until our next game. We're moving on to Savannah. We got Poseidon versus Kronos. Some crushing going on.
Can't believe right now we haven't seen that. We're not seeing the Odin on this map.
That's
from Shelty.
That's weird.
Because this is
set even, right?
I can understand saying I'm going to win Savannah, and then you set on Marsh and just convert the entire map.
Oh, fair enough.
I can understand. Like, sure, I would also consider picking set on Savannah as well, and Odin on Marsh. But Kronos here? I mean, he's got to have something up his sleeve. Either that or he's just feeling like he has to rely on the Atlanteans to carry him through here. But, I mean, in the world of best players playing Age of Mythology currently, as good as Atlantean is as a Civ, everybody knows their weak points at the top level. And they're going to be running into those. And Poseidon got so many answers. You got Ceasefire for Chaos. You've got Militia for all-ins. You've got Bronze or Curse for kind of whenever sort of difficult times you can use those god powers to bail you out of a situation. And eventually you just get into the big scary army that the Atlantean player just can't deal with.
Yeah, right. We've been seeing it a lot. Just the infantry front line and then Peltis in the back. And it's really, really hard to deal with. But we'll see. I mean, Kronos going to be applying some different styles of pressure. We already saw a really crazy Kronos game earlier on Anatolia on the stream. If you didn't see that, definitely check the game out on YouTube when you get the chance. If you missed that set, it was really, really fun. And we'll see. Maybe there's more Kronos shenanigans up the sleeve here for Shelty. I mean, there could be some fun moments. I mean, what can you even do? There's options. There's ways to play it. It's hard, but there's ways to play this matchup, I think.
Yeah, there's definitely ways. Like Cyclops, for example, could be seen. I want the
Still trying.
Cyclops, Winston.
Still
Let
trying.
me have my Cyclops.
And just like I just don't. But like chaos and
What's gonna happen? What's gonna?
ceasefire.
Yeah, but
Ceasefire's so good.
Cyclops. You say one thing, I say the other, and we're still. When we're getting into the next game, all right. Spawning
Wait,
in the
whoa,
bottom
you
of
can't
the
just
map.
hold on. Hit the brakes. No, I'm just kidding. Oh man.
In the red color playing as Poseidon, we do have Grass currently up 1-0 in this series. Shelty, he's on his tournament lifeline. He's picked Kronos. He's got the map Savannah. He needs to win this one. Keys to success for Kronos in this matchup. Winston, let me know.
So I'm not thinking my immediate thought. Like the first
That's
thing,
great. You're
unloading
in the mind of the Atlantean player right now. Fantastic. Keep going.
my first fear is,
Yes.
oh my gosh, I'm gonna get Cyclops rushed. That's the first thing that crosses my mind.
I'd
And
be
then the
terrified about
second
that
thing
too.
that crosses my mind is actually probably not. That's actually the second thing that I think about. Which then a huge wave of relief comes across me as I realize I don't have to play against Cyclops. Much to Boyd's dismay. And then then from there I just play the game normally, I think.
All right. I'm gonna leave it. I'm dropping the.
Are you gonna drop
Poseidon
it? Sorry, was that
Cyclops.
too
I'm
harsh?
dropping my.
Was that too harsh?
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
I'm upset.
Oh no, I didn't mean it like that. I just
You
meant
talked
it
to my
like
counselor about it
in
afterwards.
reality. Like,
Yep.
is it gonna happen?
Who knows? Who knows? It's
I just
fine.
think if
It's
there's
good.
Hyperion as an option, you
It isn't.
want
Yep.
you want you want ceasefire, like you do.
Just picture this.
It wins. It
Just
just
wait.
wins.
Just picture this, right? Let's say 4-5 Cyclops and bronze.
So that when your Cyclops gets chaosed, you don't
Yep.
care.
That's right.
We did see bronze kind of countering chaos
Yeah,
before. And
bronze
that's
on
like
5
kinda
hoplite
cute.
seems to be the meta at the moment. So
That was a meta play because it happened. And that's how
That's
metas
right.
are defined. If they happen
Exactly.
once, it's the meta now.
That's right. If I beat the god one time, that makes that god completely terrible, and the other god is just
And if I
way too
lose
strong.
on my main
That's right.
god once,
That's
then
right. It's the
my
worst.
god needs 10 buffs.
That's right. You know more than most.
That's actually exactly how it operates. That is the behind the scenes. That is what
Okay,
happens.
I think we've gotten far enough down this this rabbit hole. Seriously though, this matchup right now, getting that early pressure onto the Kronos here is going to be really important because Kronos has got a very, very nice fast second town center play that he can do. Fast, quick advance, put the temple forward, keep you on your base, manners onto the second settlement, and you just shoot it up quick smart. We see Hermes, Prometheus coming forward. I cry. Everyone else rejoices because we're not going to
He's
see an
working for the
absolute
temple. He's like,
domination of Cyclops. And it's all going to start happening very shortly as the villager for Grass is on the hunt for an oracle right now.
yeah, but this isn't the best place to go looking. There's trouble
No.
around. There's
There's
trouble
trouble afoot.
But that doesn't mean the hero's out just in time. So not too scary.
Yeah, the heroes are out, but the advanced line is pretty competitive right now. It's going to be a 345 for Grass, so no problems there. And he's going to be getting himself out that Atalanta straight away. On the other side here, when I'm pretty sure we're seeing Shelty dropping military buildings, so he's not going for a fast second town center at the moment. He's getting out extra Promethean. He's trying to put pressure on. Double stables coming down. Military barracks, counter barracks. So a very stock standard one town center play from both sides of the coin here.
Interesting. He just trained another one just to be annoying. And now he's popping away.
Yeah, and
Atlantis here though, so nothing matters anymore.
It's
The
a sad
scout
life
actually
when
went down, which is kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
You want that scout to find the economy when you have that centaur. Uh-oh. Down go the boys. Grass's position already feels pretty good. Like, nothing really came of Kronos' special stuff just yet. I mean, there is a second Prometheus on the field that is relevant. But if you're Grass, you gotta feel kind of confident now, right? Like,
Well, if you defend against that early pressure that comes through, this is, in all honesty, this is like the bare minimum. Kronos, as much as you want to get something done,
you barely do.
you rarely do against the top players. You know, like every top player knows it's coming. Every top player is prepared for this. You see a decent advance time from Grass to play around it, and Shelty's got to get out of there. But moving forward here, Shelty has to make that next choice. He's already made it into going for those units, but where is the pressure going to come from? Where is he going to attack? What can he kill? Where are the weaknesses that he's spotted in Grass's position that makes him feel like this sort of one town center aggression is going to work for him? That's the questions he has to answer and then also execute on.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, right? As we see the hunt getting secured with just a manor teleport. Pretty standard stuff so far. We're seeing Hoplite Hippias as the unit roster here. And what's your thought on that into Murmelo term? That's fine, right?
Yeah, this is the stock. I think this is the standard kind of Greek comp to go for to kick the game off. At some point, you want to start mixing in some ranged units, but you don't want to give those term the opportunity to snipe naked top state.
Yeah, you want the front line.
Yeah, there's no point in building them until later. Or you get Peltast out later as well. Like, this is really, really good, and Shelty's just losing units.
Yeah, Shelty's losing everything here. Atlanta getting so much snare value here. That move speed is so crazy on Poseidon, and this is why it's just so tricky with Kronos in these moments to get value out of everything. Oh,
yeah,
man,
and
we're
seeing reinforcements come through, but
so much
the
died.
fact of the matter is you can just run.
Yep. So much already died, right? Oh, this is brutal. But we'll see. I mean, the economy's still fine for Shelty. He hasn't taken any damage. And the opponent going for centaurs like this as Poseidon doesn't mean it's quite a big investment in terms of Vil's on favor, right? It's expensive to make the centaurs to get the upgrade like this.
Yeah.
With Zeus, it's a lot cheaper, right? With that faster favor. But here, it's kind of crazy, right?
When you put 6 villages onto favor, then it starts becoming possible. It starts becoming within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, but that really delays your age up, right? Like,
yeah.
He's got 0 on food, but that's obviously transition time. But still,
I mean, I think this is how you're supposed to play Greek at the moment. I think you're supposed to, in the classical age, at some point, you should put 4 to 5 villages on favor as every Greek. Make your Minotaur, Cyclops, Centaur, doesn't matter what they are.
Wow.
You want to be mixing these into your army because Myth units, they're just really, really good. We are seeing Shelty as well building Promethean, which he absolutely should, but he's only got 2 oracles out versus the 5 villages on favor that Poseidon player has, that Grass has. Now, obviously, there's a tangible loss in actual resources if you put that many villages onto favor, but and you've just got to get those oracles out if you're the Kronos player, if you're the Atlantean player. It's so important.
You have to have them, right? Like, God powers, everything. Your units, like Myth units, are so critical. Whereas some factions, I think, can get away with not making too many Myth units at times. Atlantean does not come to mind as one of them, right? You kind of need them to be the core front line at times, or do backline DPS. Like here, where you have plenty of Prometheans kind of leading the charge. And he's just going to be going for the dive. Actually, this could be really problematic for Grass. He does not have enough units here. And maybe wasn't expecting the enemy to just run in while he's got units raiding Atlanta, nowhere to be found.
Yeah, he doesn't care. It's town center, schmound center. It's nothing. It doesn't, it sits there. It shoots arrows. Doesn't matter. Not going to do anything. But we do see the revenge raid coming through for Grass. Valor's coming through in an attempt to hold here, but there's enough units to defend. This is the main base. It's totally fine. And meanwhile, Shelty can also take fights against this army of Grass, but smartly not getting too aggressive there.
Yeah, Grass just moving around the map. Maybe took a bit too much damage there in the main, but was able to kind of get away with it, right? Like, not too bad. Yeah, meanwhile, taking a great fight here with the Centaur arrow ability, and He's gonna have to sacrifice these vills. Not sacrifice, but like leave them behind to a degree, right?
Yeah, the army
Why is he not sticking around?
returning.
Focus
Yeah, he
that.
probably could stay around, but I mean, he's got to be expecting the army of Shelty that was on the
Take a
front to
turn.
be coming back.
Yeah, right.
So it makes sense that he's going to be retreating here.
Playing safe. Makes sense.
But what doesn't
Feels
make
he's fine,
sense
but just saying.
is 50 favor in the bank. What is he saving up for at the moment? He's
Uh,
already another lure. He could use another lure.
I guess. Right on.
I think I've ever
never
seen
uses
anyone
chickens.
get a second lure. Has anyone ever built a second lure? Is it any good?
It just starts to lose value pretty quickly, but like maybe in heroic age. I've done it once in heroic. I did it once in a mythic age game, and that was fun because you get
would have
like
had a lot of chickens.
you get like 10 chickens or 12 chickens or something crazy,
Yeah.
which is like fun momentarily just to see them all, and then you realize it's not very much food for mythic.
Mythic cage, god power. Could have had a chimera, got 10 chickens.
Hey man, you got to do what you got to do. Oh, retreating back through that damage. Ow. Now
There's
that
no way to
chip
fill
damage is
those
added
units
up.
back up either, is there? But the army of grass is starting to look very scary. You got Hippias that are medium. You got the hoplites, you got the centaur, spirited charge coming through as well. The speed, not only the Hippias up, but also those centaur. Shelty, it's not like he's should be worried right now, but he's got to be thinking about things like, well, when can I actually put pressure onto my opponent with my military edge? I've got 20 more population on the military at the moment. When can he do that? When's the gold mine coming? Needs to force a ceasefire so he can make that chaos, get that chaos value a little bit later as well. We are seeing some oracles finally coming out for Shelty, but Hippias raids coming in. Grass is
So much damage.
finding value with his units in a big way. Gets 2 citizens. That's huge.
That's actually massive for this stage of the game, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is when Shelty needed to be really consolidating and getting somewhere good, right? And instead taking Vil losses. I don't want to say unnecessarily, but like, you know, you have more military, right? You could try and wall here, maybe try and do something.
Well,
some heroic units. Maybe Vil.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Atlantean players on the whole, maybe there's some that are not like this, but they still kind of have a little bit of a legacy bias in their brain of, I don't need to wall, I have manners. The manners that only save 2 citizens. Walls save all of your citizens. You got to get them down. It's only 2 population of villager to build a wall, and it builds it quick, and you get back onto a resource really quickly afterwards. It's well worth it to make it happen. Walls are good in Age of Mythology.
Yeah,
build them.
solid. You could say they wall. And that's that. Aphrodite coming in, so the curse. Aphrodite coming in.
Way to take
curse
that.
is being adopted. Yeah, I'm just moving on. Curse gonna be coming in soon. Not quite seeing that heroic, and you see the power of those raids, like just slowing down the food eco quite a lot. And we do see a massive military though, so a bit tricky. The Hippocons gonna get caught out in the center.
That was a great attack there from Shelty, but
3 go down.
poking his head in, and he has found the gold mine. There is ceasefire
Oh, but
there a little bit.
he's not watching his army. They're all taking damage out of the arrow fire. So many go down for free.
No.
And now we can just back through the wall again. I don't even understand what's happening.
Villagers though, the
What is
villagers
happening?
though, the villagers.
Being caught by the burns.
They're gonna get out through the wall though. The wall's paying for themselves in a big way there. Terma trying to take the fire on the front, but the Hippias gonna be rejoining into this one to clean up the Terma. The infantry units are getting caught because the wall's going up. He hasn't been able to break through that there. But where's the Aphrodite? Where's the curse? It's not in just yet. There's a lot of resources
Going to win
currently
the back
stuck.
of this fight, I think.
He's going to be able to turn very shortly though. Oh, does he want to? Is the question.
No, I think you want to save it for a moment, right? He can
Yep.
lose a few more units. I think he's feeling comfortable here. Just to make something work. That's a lot of blue units.
So, I mean, it's a huge military advantage. I thought that fight was going well for Grass for a second there, but
For a moment.
Shelty manages to turn it, and a Nemean line getting caught out with that Hero Mamilo in that little force there. It was a huge amount of damage.
A high pass per switch would be critical here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and we immediately see 5 queued up. Another Nemean queued up as well, so the line's going to be the trick.
Yeah, get
The
some.
Lions
Also,
and
some
High
Peltas here would not go astray. You start using
Yeah.
those to kill off the Terma. You've already got Hippias, but a little bit of extra help there would not go astray. He's already got a handful of archers out as well, so it's not going to be a difficult switch for him.
You might have to see the turn here. The roar comes out. Cool down. Here's the curse. There's the roar. Hypaspis is going to be having their way with the front line. The Murmelo is going to get melted here, leaving just the Terma in the back to deal with anything. And it's just not going to be enough. The numbers are in. The stun comes out. And back Shelty has to go. He's just down in age. He's just playing down in age. He's got no chance of aging up.
No.
He's all in
wondering.
classical from this stage.
We were wondering where that favor was going to go. It was not going into center, though we do have a whole bunch of center queued up, actually. It's going into Nemean Lions. 2 more Nemean Lions coming through. It's going to be 4 Nemean Lions on the map. Plus, there's still 66 favor in the bank here for Grass to play with. He's got favor galore coming in this game. This is going to be very, very challenging to deal with for Shelty, because look at Shelty's current favor pool. 2. How many heroes does he have? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not many, to say the very least. Grass is going to be making an engagement here as he's moving forward.
First stun comes out. Second stun comes out. Third stun comes out. There's no movement on the blue side of things. Shelty just has to retreat. He has absolutely no answer to this Hypaspis army until he's up in age, unless he really wants to commit to counter. Does not really the answer. Another stun. Another stun. Another stun. And everything is going to go down without even a chance to fight back. Shelty, his tournament life on the line, back up against the wall. Lions clawing at his face. What could he do against Grass here? Grass just seems so potent. Oh, there's nothing.
And man, this Nemean Lion usage is absolutely insane. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose, but he wins. Shelty taps out. Grass cleans it 2-0. An incredible display of dominance from Grass in this series. Shelty was just, I mean, there was a moment here where Shelty looked like he could make a breakthrough, but Grass hits the heroic age, he just retreats back, and he gets to spend all that favor in the bank, and Shelty not prepared, didn't have his oracles out, didn't have any answer to it, and he just can't take a fight. Even though he's got more military units, he just can't take a fight anymore.
Yeah, that was incredible. Great job from Grass in this series. Like you said, taking to 2-0, pretty clean. Really no notes, right? Like, everything just worked for him. Whereas Shelty, you got to think about the drawing board here. Like, what went wrong? Was it a draft issue? Maybe. I'm not sure. Like, even a game 3 there was going to be tough, right? On Marsh. Like, what do you even have for his draft? It's kind of tough.
I don't mind Shelty's draft. I just hate the Kronos pick.
Well, then
you know what I mean. Like,
that's the draft. It's a best of 3. Every game matters. That's the draft.
If he picks Odin,
that was
here,
half of his draft was the Kronos.
Yeah, well, exactly. If he picks Odin against Poseidon, if he picks Set against Poseidon on this map, if either of those are a decent option, right? Interesting. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Kronos is perfectly fine here, and it's just that Grass just played an incredible game.
I think
let's give credit where credit's due.
I think Atlanta is so good against the Promethean Rush. Like, I think that's just right. Like, so much of Kronos' tempo comes from just buying a little bit of time, and it's just like it did nothing. Like, there wasn't even idle time on the Vills, right? Like, it's just like, okay, I send the heroes and we're fine. And then Atlanta runs everything down, and then Atlanta has value later. Atlanta kills Vills. Atlanta does everything. Atlanta just buys so much time with Poseidon there, and it just sort of limits Kronos' options, right?
She quick? Well,
she's fast.
Huge.
You see those legs?
Huge.
They run.
They go quick. Huge congratulations to Grass. He gets to move on to play. Would it be the winner of Redo and my brain is gapping? Help me. Who did we see? Can we see a ladder?
Redo versus Pegasus, right?
Redo versus Pegasus. Oh, this next matchup. Actually, it's not the winner of. Wait, I'm confused. Oh, it's the loser of
The loser.
the
Yeah, it's
next
the
round.
loser
Okay,
bracket.
nice.
We got a
Right.
cascade effect here. Yeah.
That's right. There we go.